never imagined that something as simple as a bug bite could become the defining moment of her life. Just 20 years old, she lived a quiet, predictable existence in a peaceful suburb outside Denver. She worked part-time at a local bookstore, spent her evenings helping her younger brother with homework, and had plans to start community college in the fall. Hers was the kind of life that didn't usually make headlines, until one ordinary night turned into a nightmare she would never forget. It was around 2:30 in the morning when Lauren jolted awake. Her lip throbbed with a sharp, almost electric pain. Still half asleep, she stumbled into the bathroom and switched on the light. Her upper lip was already beginning to swell, red and tender to the touch. She assumed it was a mosquito or perhaps a spider that had bitten her during the night. It was summer after all, and the windows in her room had been cracked open to let in the breeze. She dabbed some antibiotic ointment on the area, took a couple of painkillers, and went back to sleep, expecting it would look better by morning. The next day, the pain hadn't gone away. It had gotten worse. Her lip was nearly twice its normal size now, puffy and misshapen. When she leaned in close to the mirror, she noticed something even more unsettling: faint red lines beneath her skin, like tiny veins or scratches spreading out from the swollen area. Her cheek was flushed and tender, and her skin felt hot to the touch. That was when the first tendrils of fear began to creep in. She wasn't someone who panicked easily, but this didn't look or feel like a normal bug bite. It looked wrong. She showed her mother, who gasped and immediately insisted on taking her to the urgent care clinic. Lauren resisted at first. She didn't want to make a big deal out of something that might still be nothing, but her mother wasn't taking no for an answer. Within an hour, they were in the waiting room, and when the nurse took one look at Lauren's face, they skipped the usual intake process and brought her straight to an exam room. The attending physician, a tall man with kind eyes and a calm demeanor, asked Lauren to remove the bandage she'd placed over the wound earlier that morning. As soon as she peeled it back, his expression changed. He didn't speak at first, just leaned in closer with a focused intensity that made Lauren's skin crawl. Then he asked for an emergency ultrasound. "We need to see what's going on under the skin," he said quietly. That's when Lauren's pulse quickened. Under the skin? As she lay on the exam table, cool gel smeared across her swollen lip and cheek, the ultrasound technician's demeanor went from routine to alarmed in the space of seconds. Her eyes locked on the screen, unblinking. "Doctor?" she called out, her voice tight. "You'll want to see this." Lauren turned her head toward the monitor, but all she could make out were strange, grainy shapes in black and white. Then the doctor arrived, and after just a few seconds of watching the screen, he said something she would never forget. "There's movement." At first she thought he meant her blood vessels, maybe inflammation or something normal, but he clarified. "You have a foreign organism under your skin," he said carefully. "It's alive." Lauren's heart nearly stopped. Alive? What did that even mean? After a few hours and a series of additional scans, the answer came in the form of a diagnosis she had never heard before: cutaneous myiasis. It sounded like something out of a science fiction novel. The doctor explained that she had been infested with the larva of a botfly, a tropical parasite known for laying its eggs on the skin of mammals. The larva then burrows beneath the surface and feeds off the host's tissue until it's mature enough to crawl out. The doctor told her that based on the size of the creature and the inflammation, it had likely been inside her for at least a few days. Lauren felt sick. She barely remembered the trip to Belize with her family nearly 6 months earlier. The humid air, the lush forest, the mosquito bites. Apparently, one of those bites had been something else entirely. A fly had laid an egg on her skin, and the warmth of her body had done the rest. The next step was surgery. The doctor reassured her that the procedure was simple: a small incision, local anesthesia, removal of the larva. But nothing about this situation felt simple to Lauren. She had a living parasite inside her face. Her mother tried to calm her down, stroking her hair and reminding her that this wasn't her fault. But Lauren felt invaded, violated by nature in a way she couldn't explain. The surgery was successful. The larva, pale, thick, and grotesque, wriggled slightly in the dish as the doctor dropped it in. Lauren turned her head away, unable to look, but once it was over, the relief was immense. The swelling in her face began to go down within days. The pain subsided, the red marks faded, but the emotional scars lingered. For weeks, she avoided mirrors. She couldn't sleep without checking her bed 3 times, pulling back the sheets, inspecting every corner. Her dreams were filled with crawling things. Her friends, when they finally heard the story, were fascinated. Some even laughed nervously, shocked that something like this could happen to someone they knew. But Lauren wasn't laughing. Not yet. Over time, though, she began to talk about it more. She posted a video about her experience on social media, and the response surprised her. People from all over the world messaged her with their own strange medical stories. Some had gone through similar ordeals in other countries. Some just wanted to thank her for raising awareness. Slowly, Lauren turned her trauma into purpose. She partnered with a small nonprofit that focuses on medical outreach in rural regions of Central America, helping raise funds and supplies for areas where parasites like the botfly are a serious issue. She found strength in knowing she wasn't alone, and that maybe, just maybe, her experience could help someone else. Now, 2 years later, the scar on her lip is barely visible. Most days, she doesn't think about the botfly, but when she does, she remembers how fragile the human body can be and how resilient the human spirit really is. And when people ask her if the story is true, she nods and says, "I lived it, and I wouldn't wish it on anyone."